In this episode, I want to talk about Adobe CC, Premiere Pro, After Effects, Audition, basically editors, and why I use those editors for my YouTube channel, for my jobs that I do. I've been using it for 15 years, 20 years. I'm comfortable with it, and I want to tell you why I personally use it. Now, I don't care if you're using a Macintosh or a Windows PC. I don't care if you're using Windows 7 or Windows 10. I don't care if you're using Power Director, Hit Film Express, Vegas, Final Cut Pro, After Effects, Adobe CC, DaVinci Resolve, and the list goes on and on and on. I don't care what you use. Whatever you use that helps you get that job done is whatever you use. I am also a proponent of not in the middle of everything all of a sudden switching over. If you're using a Mac, I think you'd be crazy to switch over to a PC. If you use a PC, I think you'd be crazy to switch over to a Mac. It's a time bandit trying to learn a new operating system, and the same with editors. It's a total time bandit to switch from one editing program to another editing program. You have to learn it. The keyboard equivalents are different, the concepts are different, and it's not a great idea. That being said, if you happen to be a newer beginning video or filmmaker and you're looking at getting into editing and you're using something like iMovie or using some lower end editor and you want to move into something that's quite a bit more powerful, there's going to be a learning curve. For me, I like Adobe CC, and here's why. Now here's the first point. I have the Creative Cloud. I have Photoshop, access to Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, Lightroom, which I don't use, Premiere Pro, After Effects, Bridge, which allows you to see all your footage and collect and label it, Portfolio, Spark is for social media, Acrobat, another Lightroom, Dreamweaver, Web Pages, Character Animator, my sound editor, my encoder, and it goes on and on. I basically more or less use Photoshop, Illustrator, Premiere Pro, After Effects, Audition, etc. That's the number one reason why I have it. It's because it includes all these applications. Here's number two. If we take a look at Premiere Pro, it's just like any other video editor. You're going to have a timeline. You're going to be able to drag footage in here. You're going to be able to come over here and have a gajillion effects for audio and video and presets and color correction and all the things you ever wanted to do within a video editor. Okay, so now I'm sitting here. Reason number one, I'm sitting here. Let's take a look at this sound. You know, I just noticed this. I don't know. I haven't got done. Now this is going to chunk a little bit. I have my editor running. I have my recorder running. It's fine. It doesn't usually do this. Let's say I wanted to edit the first part of this audio here. All I have to do is simply click on the audio and say I want to edit that in Adobe Audition. Now it's important to note that normally when you're over here, if you were going into the file and you were to open the file in Adobe Audition, which is sitting right here, that's the file. Let's go take a look at that. There's the audio files. Now I'm sitting here with this one right here. If I brought that in Audition and I edited it and I made changes to it and everything else, it would actually destroy this particular file. I wouldn't be able to get it back like you would in a video editor. By using Audition, it renders this quickly sound out. It replaces it with this extracted .wav. Now whatever I do in here is non-destructive. You know, I just noticed this. I don't know. I haven't. So let's do something silly, just so I can show you. Let's turn me into a radio voice. How about that? A walkie-talkie voice, right there. And let's make it louder. How about that? You know, I just noticed this. I don't know. I haven't got done shooting the video yet, so Cool. All I have to do is save this. Now let's go back to Premiere Pro. Did you see that little whoop down here? The audio's been edited. I'm done.
You know, I just noticed this. I don't know. I haven't got done shooting the video yet.
So I'm done. I just basically, they call it round trip. I round trip my audio. Let's say I want to do something else. Let's say I want to add a little graphic in here. What I'm going to grab over here is I have this Photoshop file. Let's open the Photoshop file. Here we are. It's just, you know, it's just some thumbnail I was using. And let's say set up, edit, post in 10 minutes. This is Photoshop. It consists of layers. You probably know Photoshop, high-end graphics editing. And let's say I decide to go back to my editor. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this Photoshop file that I've opened, and I'm just going to throw it into Premiere Pro. It says, what do you want to do? You want to just merge everything? I don't. Here's what I want to do is I want to bring in everything but me. Click OK. If you look over at the Photoshop file, everything but me is basically that background. It's that text on there. So let's go back to Premiere Pro and let's drag this on here. Okay, now I have set up and post in 10 minutes and I can play with it, and I can come over here and I can animate it and do all sorts of stuff with it. Now, I brought in that PSD file and there's this thing here that I've set up and I'm going to use here. And like I said, I could animate and do all sorts of stuff to it. Let's say I go back to Photoshop and I say, you know what? I didn't really want to say 10 minutes. What I wanted to say was 20 minutes. I save the file. I go back into Premiere Pro and bam. Now it says 20 minutes. How beautiful is that? So I can edit all my graphics right here, real time, and round trip this between there. Now let's do something really cool. Let's just turn that off and let's listen to what I'm talking about here. Hopefully this won't chunk on us.
Got done shooting the video yet, so I haven't brought it in editing yet, but I noticed while I'm sitting here and I'm talking to you, I noticed these damn flowers are moving and shaking back and forth. So
okay, I'm talking about these flowers here. So maybe I want to do some animation, put flowers up here, and I want to follow these things moving around just to point it out. Again, I can come over here. I right click. I say I want to create a composition in After Effects. It runs everything in there. There I am.
I just noticed this. I don't know. I haven't got done shooting the video yet, so I haven't brought it in editing yet, but I noticed while I'm sitting here and I'm talking to you, I noticed these damn flowers are...
So let's put a new layer on here. Let's put some text on here. Let's call this flowers. Cool. Let's scale that up just a bit, like that. And let's just set it right there for right now. So I'm going to go back to me talking. This is this video that I brought in here. You notice the flowers are moving all over the place. So I've decided what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this little text here move with the movement of these flowers. Quite simple. I go to my tracking panel over here. I say I want to track a motion. It throws this little guy on here. Let's move him up there. And I'm just going to track this little dude right here. Right there. I'm going to track that dude. Let's move it back down so you can, wow, looks like I'm dying there. Move this back down so you can see what's happened. I'm going to run the tracker. Let's watch it track. Now it has gone through and it has tracked all those points. If I scrub this, you can watch. It's just moving around. It's tracking all the points. All I have to do is I say, my target for this is my layer called flowers. Okay, that's the target I want. I apply it. The X and Y, boom. I come up into my flowers. I make sure that I select all the keyframes for the position because I'm going to move it. And let's stick flowers. Let's say we're going to stick it right there. Now watch what happens.
You know, I just noticed this.
Look at that.
Don't know. I haven't got done shooting the video yet, so I haven't brought it in editing yet, but I noticed while I'm sitting here and I'm talking to you, I noticed these damn flowers are moving and shaking back and forth. So, you know, I just...
Isn't that cool? I save the file, I go back to Premiere Pro, and looky there. There it is. It's in there.
You know, I just noticed this. I don't know, I haven't got done shooting the video yet, so I haven't brought it in editing yet, but I noticed while I'm sitting here and I'm talking to you, I noticed these damn flowers are moving and shaking back and forth. So
that is the reason why I use Adobe CC, the Creative Cloud Suite, so I can trip around in Premiere, run over to Audition and non-destructively edit my files. I can import pieces or parts or entire parts of Photoshop. I can go over to After Effects and do a lot of sophisticated stuff here. And lastly, let's go back over to Premiere Pro. The last thing I use a lot, let's set an in point here. Let's set an out point here. And let's render this out. Export, media, comes up. I have a setting for different things that I have set up for when I render out. It's done. Let's queue it up. Media recorder comes up. It opens up the project. I can still go over to these other programs. I can still do things. I can still look at things. I can still edit things. Media encoder is taking that project that I had. It's loaded it in, and it's pretty much ready. There's all my settings because it knows what all those settings that I put in there if I want to change them. There's where I'm going to do it, and I'm going to render away. So Media Encoder is now encoding my video to what I want. It first goes through and it encodes all the sound and audio and puts it all together. And when it's done doing that, it jumps over to the video. Now it's doing the video, it's rendering it right now. I can still come over here, I can move things around, I can change things, I can cut things as much as I want, I can edit the sound. It doesn't matter. Media encoder is off there, still rendering away, and I can still work, I can still make changes, I can send out segments, and I can stack these up. I could stack up 25 of these when I'm done. For instance, if I'm doing a course, I may have an entire section with 10 courses in here. I can load them all up. Okay, I'm done with that, render, and get to editing onto the next lecture. So there you go. That is, it's done. That is why, I guess I should show this to you, just to show you that it actually rendered.
You know, I just noticed this. I don't know, I haven't got done shooting the video yet, so I haven't brought it in editing yet, but I noticed while I'm sitting here and I'm talking to you, I noticed these damn flowers are moving and
so there you go. That's the reason why I use the Adobe CC suite, in particular, the reason why I use Premiere, Audition, Photoshop, Media Encoder, After Effects, and again, if you're using Illustrator files, same thing. They all interact, they all work together, and there you go for your consideration.
All right, I hope that was helpful. I hope that enlightened you on some of the things and the reasons why I use this particular editor. And do check it out, and do check out the other editors. Shop around, do your research. Don't listen to me and everybody else about what operating system you should use and what things you should use and what you should edit in. That's just a bunch of blah, blah, blah. Find out what you want, what you need, what your needs and wants are for now and the future. That's the editor that you get. And if you want to spend, I think it's $59 for Power Director or $100 for Vegas, and that's how you want to learn and that's what you want to use, well then freaking go for it. The main point is get what you need, get what you can move into and evolve into and grow with, and then use it and produce some videos. I hope that helps. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Actually, I do care what you use. You should use Adobe CC. I have links in the description below, and I get like a 99.99% commission from Adobe. They actually don't make any money on their products. I make all the money from all the sales,
So I guess that means they're going to go broke soon. So use that link, use that editor, and use it on a PC. Make sure you use Windows 10. I've put links all in the description below. Use those. Give me big money. Don't use anything else. Nothing else works. Nothing else is good. Macs suck. All editors suck. All other operating systems suck. Use what I tell you to use because it's the right one. Yeah, that's kind of like the comments you find when you start looking at a system.